when rendering in Twinmotion, we have two rendering engines. One of them is Path Trace, and the other is the Lumen rendering engine. In the real-time section, guys, Path Trace is the part where we take a render by clicking the button here for a single frame. When we take a render from here, look at the dotted checkered areas at the top. Path Trace. The name is coming up. So right now, I'm taking a render using Path Trace. I'm adjusting the angle. I press the button over there. I've switched to the normal real-time section. When I get to any place, I adjust my viewpoint and then press the Path Trace button to start the rendering process. So, how does this work in Lumen? In Lumen, when you switch to the real-time section, and select the Lumen rendering engine, you need to make the adjustments here, guys. Since we are starting with Path Trace, the settings for Path Trace are done from this section here. Look, this is the Petrus part. We started with Petrus at first. When you select Petrus again and come to the high section, you will process it for high-quality rendering. Now, I want to show you how to take a render from scratch, adjust our angle, and the rendering process. I'm here, and in the next part, we will switch to the real-time engine, because the real-time engine will allow you to capture animations effectively and quickly. Friends, that is also a very important part. While Petrus will take it again, I will take the animation part in Lumen. This menu can also take it again, but we will use this more in the animation part. There it is more successful and more. Now I pressed the plus icon and created an under image of a golden child. I've come to my camera tab, and from here I'm just going to take one render and adjust the angle. Guys, I want to show you that when I took this under image, I noticed that the depth of field technique is normally turned on. Because the last work I did came in with depth of field, it was turned on here. I disabled this by turning off the enable option and pressed the update button from this section as well. Now, this part, my Lumen is showing up. Look, the reason Lumen is showing is that I need to finish the render here. Look, when I pressed low render and finished the render, you can see the Path Trace icon appeared in the top left. Right now, Path Trace is working, and the depth of field is off. Let's say I want to take a different render. Look, I closed it, guys. I came like this. I came all the way back from here. I pressed the update button, and from my camera tab, I say enable, from the film back section. Look, I've gotten really close. It says 16:9. I have my details here. You can adjust the sensor and other parts if you want. I want to show you this part here. In the film back section, there are parts with preset settings, guys. Look, here we have Super 8, Super 16, Super 35. Super 16mm actually captures a nice angle. It's getting closer and presenting the depth more beautifully for us, guys. If you adjust this angle well because it's getting closer, you'll capture beautiful images. Look, when I capture an angle like this from right here, it will be a nice angle and a good shutter speed. I'm pressing the update button here for the image I've captured, and I'm taking the render by pressing the render button. Friends, as you can see, this render is normal. In low render, when you come to high render, if you want to get a high quality render and allow the light to spread more inside, there's a value here called the gamma value. You need to bring the value of 256 up to 1024, guys. When you set this to 4 and press enter, your work will always come out in the best quality. What you have done here, the white balance, and other effects in the camera tab only change the color values of the image. The shadow and highlight values cause an increase in the amount of light in the shadows here. You can also play around with these, guys. If the amount of light is low, you can increase or decrease these a little more, but you should not play too much with these values. It affects the quality of the image, allowing you to get a blurrier picture. So, in normal renders, meaning with this kind of setting, it will do the job for us. Guys, let's wait for the render to finish and check the clarity of the image on the screen. Look closely, we are really facing a very clear image. There is a very clear, very fluent image, a very sharp image. Look at our setting here. Normally it's in the hay section, and I brought it to 1024 values. We can see that there is no smearing, even when we look at the distant parts. And by adjusting the depth and normal sharpness settings this way, we can export it using the export button. From the export section, you can click on this part, mark your image in the image section, and then you can export it by clicking on export.